Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome on into my The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 8 review video. This episode was titled Bad Territory. Of course, we're going to go ahead, hop right on into it, break some of those things down, some of those Easter eggs, and things that you might have missed throughout the episode, as well as my overall thoughts and opinions as an overall review, and also stay tuned for some of those theories sprinkled throughout the video. We, of course, are going to go ahead and hop right on into it. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from dorksideoftheforce.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. It may not be the most hard-hitting episode, but it did a lot to set up things for the rest of the show, and was quite honestly a very interesting cliffhanger towards the end of the episode. It has a lot of us asking questions onto exactly who Fennec Shand was talking to in that hologram message by the end of the episode, and honestly, it's something that deserves its own video. We'll be discussing in more detail and in more depth here on the channel, of course, and we will discuss that in this video just in a moment. So far, Season 3 of The Bad Batch has done a great job at bringing back several of the Season 1 and Season 2 storylines, characters to tie all of those threads and bring it all really full circle. While some of these threads have been one-time payoffs, like bringing back Roland Durand for information, Episode 8, titled Bad Territory, made the return of Fennec Shand far more significant and important, and if I had to say, we may be seeing her in even more episodes down the road. It not only is tying off a storyline from Season 1 for one, but is also helping setting things up for the rest of this season, the third and final season of The Bad Batch. It's also really quite neat to see Fennec at this stage in her life, versus to where she is as we see her in the Book of Boba Fett, or really in the Mandoverse. Not that that's bad. She's just so young still, and just is kind of getting started with her career of bounty hunter within a galaxy far, far away. However, in one of those Star Wars It's Like Poetry Rhyme moments, you could agree that Hunter's words about money not being the most important thing in life really sticks to her. It's echoing of what Boba tells her later on, which is also fun, as Hunter and Boba are clones of Jango Fett. Nonetheless, perhaps this groundwork with Hunter, along with her time with Omega, is what stays for Fennec Shand over the decades, and we'll see more of that pan out in the Mandoverse. But for now, seeing on how things and these seeds will bloom later for her character is quite nice. Though Fennec Shand isn't there yet, which is why we do adore of how perfectly in character she is when it comes to information about Omega. She's really all in for it about the money, and isn't as, I don't know really the word I'm looking for, maybe as a part of her own word, essentially. Like, she really is more money-based than when we see her later down the road and a part of the Mandoverse. It would be quite easy for The Bad Batch to fall into the trappings of a quote-unquote kid show and have Omega be a soft spot for the bounty hunter, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. This has worked in other shows like Star Wars Rebels, of course, as of to where Hondo took a liking to Ezra Bridger. However, that's not who Fennec is exactly. She's fishing for information on Omega just as much as Hunter and Wrecker seek anything about what M counts are. Fennec should be at the start of her journey to turn into who she is by the time that we reach The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, but even then, her time with Boba Fett, I think, is really what changes her by that time. Her action at the end, calling up this mysterious person, as I had mentioned beforehand, sets up for the rest of the season, it seems, or at least for the next couple of episodes. And regarding who that could exactly be, we have our ideas, but as I had also mentioned, I want to discuss more of that in more detail and in more depth in a separate feature video here on the channel. It is all the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. Regarding of who that person is though, however, it's laying the path of the show for as to what will follow in its finale. It could be the Empire itself, which could put Clone Force 99 back in quick danger with Dr. Hemlock, but I think that will find its way on its own. It could be the likings of Cad Bane, who we know was in the Season 3 trailer and would be one of those high-ranking bounty hunters mentioned in the episode as well, and would make his round away at some point in the next couple of episodes. Along with that line though, however, it could be also Asajj Ventress, also in the trailer. She also has her ties to Quinlan Vos, who was the No from the series of Obi-Wan Kenobi, who at the time was protecting Force-sensitive children, Quinlan Vos. Nonetheless, whoever this mysterious person is, that will be the direction of the rest of the show, of where it will go, it feels like and seems. While this episode 8, Bad Territory, might feel like an adventure of the week style episode, more of a quote-unquote filler episode, as many would kind of complain and call it, it's actually really important of an episode. And honestly, is a really great action-packed episode as well. The best moment of this episode, Bad Territory, though, was and feels like it was between Omega and Crosshair, actually, and intertwining stories going between Fennec, Wrecker, and Hunter, their whole story, and then back to Omega and Crosshair. The meditation scene was perfectly executed in a season where the lack of the conversations had been detrimental at times. It pulls up threads from Season 2 when the Bad Batch had rescued Gunji, the Wookiee Jedi. Omega clearly communicated with Crosshair, which felt like a significant shift in Crosshair's journey as he followed her directions, actually. The lighting, music, animation itself in this scene, and really throughout the entirety of this episode, was flawless. Everything in that scene came together, though, however, together for one of those most powerful and important moments of this entire show itself. Not to mention that Batcher continues to be a good girl. And I'm glad that they're keeping that little, I don't know, pet, if you want to call it. I don't know. Batcher, just, I don't know, is a great little charm in addition to the Bad Batch itself. Other than that, it doesn't feel that there's a lot more to say about this episode. The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 8, Bad Territory might have taken a bit of a detour, it feels, but still, it was an important one that will see the rest of the show into its conclusion. It leaves the Bad Batch one step closer to figuring out of exactly why Omega is so important to the Empire, why she's so wanted by not just the Empire, but possibly others around the galaxy, making her a very vulnerable target. And it leads this episode all the more to that path of the Bad Batch, really Hunter, and, the rest of the Bad Batch Wrecker, but really Hunter, to figuring out of exactly what an M count is and why that is and why it makes Omega so important. One last theory that I feel like I have to throw in here, though, however, as of to who potentially possibly Fennec Shen could be talking to in that hologram would be Boba Fett. I don't know. You guys know me on here on the channel. I'm a diehard Boba Fett fan, so having the potential to see Boba Fett in animation in the Bad Batch show, maybe potentially possibly one last time, I gotta have it, especially for it to being the third and final season. And I think it would bring things a little bit more full circle as of to Boba Fett and Fennec Shan later down the road, but even then, I can't say that they knew each other from then, when we see them come together in the Mandoverse. Anyway, guys, here all being said, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. And thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.